This is in regards to relationships. How does one decide, choose, and how do you know if you should stay in or get out of a relationship? And for further clarification...
Well, you should always stay in.
You should always stay in.
Yeah.
Not with myself, with someone else.
I understood fully what you meant, but the reason that we wanted to get your attention in that way is because when you say, should I get out, can you feel the resistance in that? Mm-hmm. And so if those are our choices, should I stay in or get out, we would say there's a lot less resistance in staying in. Think about standing right where I am and just deciding to let in all of the deliciousness in this relationship that I've been looking for, as compared to saying, well, it's not here, I've looked and looked, and it's just not here, I'll go someplace else and look. And we say, you can go, but you won't find it there either. It's always, always, always better to stay in while you discover how to let in what you want. And it may be that while you're staying in that relationship, discovering how to let in what you want, that it might come in from some other place. It's possible. But we rarely see anyone get out and maintain that attitude of getting out without having to go through quite a bit of struggle before they discover how to get back into that place of letting it in. There are no right or wrong answers on this. In other words, we're not saying that you should not allow yourself to move about, to allow the universe to yield to you what you want. But there's this inherent attitude that says, I've already explored this place and it's not here, that makes it less likely that you will find it anywhere you go. We want you to just say, I haven't been letting it in for whatever reason. I'm going to start letting it in. Sometimes people say, well, Abraham, I just can't let it in because he just irritates me too much. And so if I go someplace else where that irritation is not so prevalent, won't I be more likely to let it in? What we notice most often is that when you leave a relationship, often there is this need to explain why you've left it. And in your explaining why you're leaving it, there's a justification that holds you in the place of not allowing what you want anyplace else either, you see.
For further clarification, when are focusing on positive aspects and appreciating crossing over into denial?
We are appreciating your offering these words because they really speak to the twisted way that humans see this art of allowing. You're not alone in that. Everyone really understood and related to what you were getting at. But look at it from this perspective. When I am in the mode of appreciation, there's no resistance within me. So I am allowing in the fullness of what I'm asking for. The only way you could ever deny all of this well-being that you want is by holding yourself in a place where you don't feel good. It is not possible for you to be in the mode of appreciation and deny well-being. It isn't possible, you see. Now what you're getting at, and we hear it even from Esther from time to time, she'll be in one of those modes where she's not letting it in. And she knows it because she's got some negative emotion going. But she's also got some momentum going. And it might even be a little entertaining. And then she will notice that Jerry is aware that she's in this place. And then she begins to feel a little defensive of her position. And our favorite words that she offers under these conditions are, well, it's true. It's true. That's what you're talking about. You're saying, shouldn't I tell the truth? Which is the same thing as, shouldn't I say exactly how it is? And we say, can you talk about how it is and move to some other place at the same time? Or when you talk about how it is, do you hold yourself in vibrational harmony with how it is? This is a universe of inclusion, you see. So we would say, deny, 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 deny all truths that don't feel good. There is the truth of AIDS. There is the truth of cancer. There is the truth of people being mean to others. There's the truth of bombs and destruction. There's the truth of all kinds of things that you do not want. And if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would learn the art of denial. We would never give our attention to things unwanted. We would let our only criteria be, how does this feel? Is this life-giving in nature? When I think this thought, does my inner being join me? Am I infused with pure positive energy? What you are wanting to allow is the fullness of who you are. And anything less than that is the ultimate denial. And it's the denial of well-being. You cannot appreciate and deny well-being at the same time.
The question is, when I meet people, there are some people that I feel like an intuitive and instinctive aversion to. That I see them and it's like, don't want anything to do with them. And other people, I feel an immediate affinity to them.
Everybody that's coming into your experience is coming because law of attraction is matching you up. It has to be that way. So these are great gifts that they are bringing you, because if somebody is in your experience and you're not liking what you're seeing, then there's an aspect of you that's really vibrantly alive that is causing that to happen, which always gives you an opportunity to sift through the contrast and make more decisions about what you are wanting. The format of your question sort of implies that, so here I am, this neutral person moving through life, forgetting all about law of attraction. And some people show up in my experience and we say, and how is that happening? That's the thing that we're wanting to point back to. How is that happening?
Well, that's actually the essence of my question. Say the person that I really have an aversion to. Is this someone that I have had a connection to in a previous incarnation where we had some...
It might be, but it usually isn't. What it is it's somebody who is vibrationally very much like somebody that you've been pushing against for quite a long time. In other words, you've just picked up along your physical trail habits of thought about certain people. In other words, when you say, oh, that person really bugs me, you're just setting yourself up for meeting a whole bunch of people like that. And it's not because you had past lives together. It's because something in your vibration now is activating it within you now, and law of attraction's matching you up now. It is true, when you meet someone who you really have strong feelings about, sometimes you just feel like you're coming home, and often it is someone who is of the same vibrational, non-physical nature, and there is a recognition within you. And sometimes when you meet somebody and you just feel such strong negative emotion about it, sometimes they also are from your non-physical cluster. The reason that you activate within each other this strong negative emotion is because in coming together you remind one another of who you really are and how you really are supposed to feel, and in your aggravated state you just amplify each other's awareness that you're nowhere near the connection with your source energy that you are wanting to be. But we would not spend any time, we really would not, trying to identify old friends from non-physical. We would spend all of our time trying to line us up with us. Did you get that?
Yes.
Trying to line us up with us. In other words, nothing is more important than that I feel good, because when I feel good, I'm in alignment with my source energy. And when I'm in alignment with my source energy, everything goes well for me.
So let's assume for the moment that I have run into someone across the crowded room. It's like, yuck. My usual response to that is just to go somewhere else, not further any communication or connection to that person.
And yet we're talking about it.
Okay. Well, I want to know if
In
there's
other
another
words,
strategy.
It's sort of like you're not talking to us about the bad tasting food on the buffet, because it doesn't feel to you like it's jumping into your experience. So why are we having this conversation about this person? Why can't you just turn your attention somewhere else and have a different experience?
Okay, so essentially what you're saying, the strategy is correct. If there's, that person I don't like, I'm just not going to put any attention over there at all. But I guess I really want to minimize the number of people in my experience that I ever have that experience with.
Well, what we think that there's another strategy in your terms that would work even better for you. When you're feeling negative emotion, rather than saying, oh, that person I don't like for whatever reason, let me see if there's a person that I can find that I do like. Instead, we would stop and say, I'm having negative emotion, which means right now, in this moment, I'm using that person as my excuse to not allow myself to feel good. There's some reason that I'm using that as my excuse not to feel good, and often it's because it reminds you of something else. And there are many who would say, well, if you just look someplace else, then isn't that potential thing still within you that could be activated again? And we say, yes, and if it really bothers you, it's probably going to come up again and again and again and again and again, because as you move through crowds, there are people vibrating all over the place. And that's what makes physical humans want to control the behavior of others, is because as you walk about, you feel like you're being buffeted about sort of unfairly. The strategy that we would use is when we are not in a crowd, we would meditate. We would practice thoughts that feel good. We would pet our cat. We would go to our virtual reality. We would train ourselves into this predominant vibration of feeling good so that when we walk into a crowd, our vibration of feeling good is so dominant that only those that match our vibration would come into our arena.
Okay.
You see, you're giving others too much power as you even acknowledge how they make you feel. What you've got to decide is how I'm going to feel. I'm going to go to that party and I'm going to feel good. We would go to a virtual reality party before we would ever go to a party. And we would practice feeling good. We would practice looking good. We would practice being rested. We would practice being high. We would practice being funny. We would practice being at the top of our game. We would practice being beautiful. We would practice being dressed just right. We would practice interacting with people that are stimulating. We would practice the life of the party revolving around you. We would practice people coming that are really stimulating. We would practice the best part of the party being wherever you are, wherever you're going. We would practice the party being over. We would practice the party having been really fun. We would practice lying in our bed and feeling fully satisfied about the party that we'd been to. In other words, we would have a party long before the party. And when you've brought yourself to that place of vibration, then anybody who's not up to speed with where you are, they just gravitate into other places. They don't even end up where you are. They become a non-issue. But when you walk in and right away you gravitate to the last person on earth that you want to spend time with, it's because you've been in a virtual reality with them already. Manifestations come on the heels of what you've conjured in thought. So sometimes what happens is you'll go to a party, it will be uneventful, and then you practice the idea of uneventful parties. Or you'll go to a party and there won't be anyone interesting, so you practice the idea of uninteresting parties. And without realizing it, you're going to a virtual reality and you're practicing boring people coming to you, or you're practicing people that are annoying coming to you. Oh, yeah, you talk to your friend, oh yeah, I went to this party and this person just would not leave me alone. I had the worst time. Finally, I just drug myself out of there and gasped for air. That's a virtual reality too. In other words, you're setting yourself up for all of that too. Just focus upon law of attraction and how powerful it is. Jerry said something to Esther one morning recently that was so beneficial to both of them. He had had a very specific, very easy to recall dream. It was vivid. And he said to Esther, it occurs to me, having heard us say it on many occasions, but in this moment he knew it so powerfully. I put every person in my dream. I gave them their attitudes toward me. I put the words in their mouth. Everything that every person said to me in the dream, I wrote the script. In other words, it was all my doing. And of course we say, that's true of everything that you are living. It is all your doing. And so what we are imploring you to do is to write scripts that please you and to understand that you have the power to do it. How is it that you all get so involved in things that have nothing to do with you? The law of attraction is a huge law. In other words, there is so much that is already in place. Your work is to relax and release and allow it to be, you see. So next time you find yourself thinking, well, I should write one more affirmation, or I should go do one more visualization, or I should do one more virtual reality. I need to do something. I must be doing something wrong, or what I'm wanting would be, we say, what you need to do is chill out. What you need to do is relax. What you need to do is accept that it's not your work. What you need to do is relax and accept that you've done your work. You've asked. The universe is doing its work. It is answering. Your work is to get into this place where you joyfully receive it, which means you can't take score about when it's coming or where it's coming or how it's coming. In other words, you accept in this faith-based attitude, it is coming and all is well. And as you do that, then when you really get there, then it doesn't matter how long it takes. But it doesn't take any time then. In other words, if you could say, I don't care how long it takes, you're there. And then it takes no time. But as long as it matters how long it takes, you're not there and it's going to take a long time. Good. You got that. You all got that. That was really good. Did you write really good? We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. It is delicious to come together with those like you who are coming to understand the power of your ability to allow. Life is supposed to be fun, you know. This isn't supposed to be work. It's not something that you're supposed to do, or something that needs to be done, or something that will not get done if you don't do it. This is your creative arena where you are supposed to find things that please you. And in doing so, you please that which you regard as God.